is now Diaries of Abused Women, Story 4, which is titled, The Abused Mother and Daughter. Back in the 90s, I used to own a moving company that was called 3 Rose Moving Services. One evening after a long day at work, as I sit at my desk at 6 p.m., totaling up my earnings for that day, suddenly my phone rang. I picked it up and held it up to my ear. Then said, "Good evening, 3 Rose Moving Services, may I help you?" A lady sniffled, sounding upset, as if she had been crying. Then said, "Ma'am, I seen your ad in the Yellow Pages. I need some help moving tonight. Can you help me? Because I really do need to move tonight. Because tomorrow morning, my husband is getting out of jail, and I just can't be here with my children. I just can't be here anymore." I said, "Well, ma'am, I usually don't go out after 6 p.m. to move anyone, unless it's an emergency." She sniffled, crying, then said, "Honey, this is an emergency. My husband was arrested today for raping my daughter." Stunned, I became speechless for a moment, then said, "Ma'am, that is absolutely terrible." I sit there for a moment trying to let what she said absorb in my mind, sighing. Then said, "Ma'am, that's so bad." And I sit there for a moment trying to let what she said absorb in my mind, knowing that I was really tired. But at the same time, I was always trying to help someone. I sighed, then said, "Okay, ma'am, I usually charge at night for 2 men in a truck, $75 an hour, with a 3-hour minimum. However, I will get a crew together and move you for a 2-hour minimum of $150, because this is so sad." Then she gave me her address, and I got my crew together, and we went to move the lady that night. While my guys were moving her items from her home to the moving van, she told me some of the saddest things that I had ever heard. She told me that her daughter's own father had been raping her daughter, so she was afraid for her and her daughter's life. That's why she had to hurry up and move out of her home before he got out of jail. She also told me that when she confronted him, he beat her badly, and she called the police and had him arrested, so she feared for her life. When my crew finished loading her furniture onto the moving van, we took her goods to a 24-hour storage and put them into the storage. Then we took the rest of her goods to a motel, and she stayed at the motel that night. I felt so sorry for the lady until all I charged her was $75 that night. When I went home, I took a shower and went to bed, and I cried for the lady and her children, because I thought to myself, how could any father be so cruel to have sex with his own child? And that night, I went to sleep heavy-hearted, thinking of the little girl and her mother, praying that they would see better days. Thank you.